Yo, what's good with y'all? I'm back with another video. Let me show you guys how to make some real ethnic guitar dark samples for Future, Southside, CUBEATZ, something like Riding Strikers. So yeah, a lot of you guys have been requesting this sample breakdown on my Instagram. I'll be on the screen right now if you want to follow me, and let's get straight to it. Alright, so a lot of you guys might be looking for what VST I was using or what contact bank, but as you can tell, I recorded all this with my actual real guitar. To tell you the truth, if you want the best sound possible, the realest sound possible, you have to invest in real instruments. Now there's a lot of layers, so I'm gonna just try to go through them really quickly. So this was the first layer I basically put down. And it's very simple. It's just two notes. All I did is I chopped it up, as you can see right here. I just highlighted all of them and I would fade in sample right here, so it would kind of give it that like chop effect or that like fade in sweep effect. And that was basically it for the effects on here. I went for that same effect with Shaper Box. I just went to the side chain and I added this little side chain right here. All I did is I turned the volume up so it wasn't so harsh. And I did the same thing with this A1 trigger gate VST. It's not on the FOP right now, but I have a picture on the screen right now of the VST. It was just a free VST I found on the internet. It was basically the same thing. It gives like a gate effect and it's completely free, so I decided to just give it a try. And then I added reels to make it sound more vintage and old. And then lastly, what really changed the sound is a gross beat. I just put it on double the speed and then I rendered that out and it sounded like this. So yeah, this was the first melody I had for the guitar. This was the base of the melody. After this, I just layered a bunch of layers on top. This was the first layer I laid after. You can tell it's very simple, just two notes. And what I also enjoy about using real instruments like a guitar is you could hear that everything is not fully quantized. You can kind of tell it's a little offbeat, but that's what comes with using, actual real instruments. So what I did for the processing is I went to ambient reverb, which is a free reverb, and then I always use the dark marimba room preset. It gives it that like real room type of reverb, as if you're recording this sound in a room. Trigger gate again, and it was the same as the one I showed earlier. It was just giving that sweep in, fade in, whatever you want to call it effect. And then a pancake, just panning it harsh left and then right. After that, I added this layer. So just a very simple top line. For the effects on here, all I did is I added ambience reverb. I added the same dark marimba room preset, and then primal tap, just the default preset, and I just turned the mix down. This is giving it just a very like tight delay. And I also made this 81% more mono. As you can tell, I made some sounds a little more mono than others, and I panned some left, some right. This is just making it so every sound has its own little room. And then I recorded this. So yeah, another very simple melody, just two notes. I just really focused on the rhythm and picking the guitar very quickly. For the effects, all I did is I chopped it up and then I sent one to this mixer track where it's panned to the left and then one that's panned to the right. And like I said earlier, that's just giving it its own little pocket. And this melody really brought the whole like ethnic type of feeling. The next thing I added is this bass. So yeah, very simple. I just came up with that bass line. How I made it kind of sound gritty and vintage is I pitched it down an octave so it could obviously sound like a bass, but what I did is I put it on Stretch Pro and I turned it down by 300 cents. This is how it sounds without Stretch Pro. So it just makes it sound a little more harsh. And then for the effects, all I did is I cut out the highs and I layered that on top with the Rickenbacker bass. I just used the default preset, and very simple. I just copied the exact same notes on here. Then I added these really small chords in the second half. The effects on here are very simple, just delay 3 and then an RC20 on the wow and flutter preset. Give it that like detune effect. And that was basically it. After that, I just added these two textures in the back, just a perk loop and a texture. Both of these come from Beat Center's Phantom texture kit. Now, before I exported it, this is the master. I added 2 EQs. The first one is just cleaning the sound up, removing some of the harsh lows and mids, and cutting out some of the harsh highs. The second EQ, I completely cut out a lot more of the bass because there was a lot and it was kind of taking over the whole sample. And then I cut out most of the highs to make it sound a lot more vintage, a lot less clean. Then I added this sound shifter, pitching it up to ozone imager, just making it more mono. Like I said, I wanted to go for that vintage dark guitar sound, so I wanted to make it more mono, 47% more mono. And then just a soft clipper, just raising the volume. And then after that, I exported it, and then I opened it in Edison, and I did Alt T, and I messed around with the fine pitch, and I did that just to give it that detune effect. I forgot, before I play the final version, this is how it sounds with no master effects. That was basically it. I don't usually like to break down samples when I use real instruments because there's not really much for me to explain. Just a lot of takes and a lot of recordings that I'm doing. A lot of you guys requested this on Instagram. A lot of you guys love this sample, so I decided to break it down for you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, learned something new. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment any video ideas, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos. If you guys actually like the real instrument breakdowns, I could do more. I have a lot more real instrument samples. All my samples with real instruments are always a lot of people's favorites, always the one that get placed, and always my best samples because you gotta invest in real instruments to get that real sound, to get the highest quality possible. But yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.